But who is Jesus? The gospel writers all want to introduce you to him at the very beginning of their books. But who is he? As you see his life described, his life unfold in the stories, who is this person, Jesus of Nazareth? If you ask John this question in the Gospel of John, I think his answer would be from the very beginning that Jesus is God in human flesh. He calls Jesus the Word. He is the one who reveals God to us because he is, in fact, God, the very Son of God. And he says the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we saw his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father. In the Gospel of Matthew, I think what you see is that Jesus is the authoritative preacher, the one who comes like Moses, who preaches like Moses, but who is even greater than Moses. This is why Matthew focuses on Jesus as a preacher. And so you come across in Matthew chapters 5 through 7, the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus lays out what his people are going to be like. He talks about all of these blessings. For example, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. He calls his disciples to let their light shine before others so that people will see their good works and glorify the Father who is in heaven. But Jesus also confronts many of the teachings of his own day. He heightens the demands even of things within the law of Moses. And by the end, what you see Jesus doing by the end of that sermon is he says, basically, if you listen to my words and you don't do them, you will be destroyed. But if you'll listen to my words and do them, you'll be like the guy who built his house on the rock, and when the storms came, the foundation stood firm, the house stood firm. That's the way that Jesus talks, and by the end of the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus is saying to his disciples, I want you to go out and I want you to teach everybody not what Moses commanded you, not that Jesus contradicts Moses, but he says, I want you to go out and teach everybody everything that I have commanded you. Jesus is the authoritative preacher and teacher in the Gospel of Matthew, but he's also, in all of the Gospels, he is the miracle worker. He is the one that all the prophets foretold who would bring about the raising of the dead, the healing of the lame, the opening of the eyes of the blind, the setting of the prisoners free. You see this throughout the stories. Jesus is a man of great compassion who has incredible power to heal and to change people's lives. But perhaps my favorite description from Jesus is also connected to the Old Testament, but this is one that he used of himself in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, where Jesus tells stories about how he is the good shepherd and how the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. Jesus is God in human flesh. He is the authoritative preacher. He is the one who can do miracles, but the best news for us is that he is the good shepherd, the one who lays down his life for us, and the one who can not only lay down his life, but who has the right to take it up again. And he does this for us so that we can be brought back to our Heavenly Father.